lovely people, and welcome back to this week's new video. Surprisingly, I'm doing a TBR video, which I never do because I don't like doing TBR videos or sticking to TBRs. I only do them for readathons, but I've been in a bit of a reading slump. I've been totally burnt out because at the beginning of quarantine I read about 20 to 30 books a month, and this month for October, today's Halloween, I only read 7 books. I know that's still a really good amount, but I'm still trying to hit a new goal for myself of 200 books by the end of the year, and I'm hoping that by creating a TBR, this will hold me accountable and I can try to read at least the 7 books that I have picked out for this month. I think the last time I did a TBR, not counting readathons, was probably at the beginning of the year, books that I wanted to read in 2020 that I couldn't in 2019. I'm a little behind on that as well, since it's now November when you're seeing this. But to get started, the first book is The Stranger by Harlan Coben. Yes, it's a library book and I've had it in my possession since March. I feel like I've been taking advantage of the library and I should return this soon. By the way, all the books that you'll probably end up seeing in this video I've mentioned at one point in time on my channel. But this book got a nice giant photo of the author in the back here. This book is has also turned into a show, I think, a BBC show, I think, but it's on Netflix. There's a season of it. There is a stranger who just suddenly approaches you and appears out of nowhere, whispers a secret in your ear about you or someone important in your life. Adam has a seemingly perfect life until one day a stranger approaches him and tells him a secret about his wife that absolutely just shatters his world. So obviously he has a lot to lose. He has a happy family, and so he approaches his wife about this, asks her about it, and turns out it's true. His life is no longer this perfect thing that he imagined that it was. It says, soon Adam finds himself tangled in something far darker than even Corinne's deception, and he realizes that if he doesn't make exactly the right moves, the conspiracy he stumbled into will not only ruin lives, it will end them. This book, like I've said, I've had in my possession since March, so I really need to get to it and hopefully return in November as well. Oh my god, the next book, this is my November book of the month from last year, so I really do need to get to this. I know it was so hyped up last year when it came out. Oh, this is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, if you didn't notice. I feel like even though it's now November, or technically Halloween for me, this is all part of my costume, I still want to be in that spooky vibes for autumn. I feel like that's really perfect, and I think that this will help contribute to that. I don't want to know too much about this book because I feel like it would be better going into it knowing nothing. So what I know is that Alex is a high school dropout, I think, or she's a college dropout, but she at 20 years old is the sole survivor of a multiple homicide. She's given another chance at life, her future, when she's given a full ride scholarship to Yale. I know that there is like a secret society. I don't know if it's like supernatural or anything, or just some weird cult kind of thing, but I hope to get to this and get all the vibes from Leigh Bardugo. I really do enjoy her writing. Next one is actually a 2020 release. This is A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. I know that this book was really popular when it was coming out. That's part of the why I ordered it, and not really knowing what it was about, but I knew that the cover really drew me in. I believe that this is YA fantasy. There is a festival called the Solstasia Festival for I don't know if it's Malik or Malik, because I know that both pronunciations are correct, but I don't know what it would be for this character's name, but I'm gonna go with Malik because I know that is the first name pronunciation. But anyway, for Malik, the Solstasia Festival means that it will give him a chance to leave his home and create a new life for him and his sisters. But an evil spirit actually kidnaps his younger sister Nadia, and the only way to free her is to kill the princess of Ziran. Karina, the princess of Ziran, is grief-stricken. Her mother has just been assassinated and she wants to perform a ritual that will bring her back to life. But the ritual requires the beating heart of a king. The only way she knows how to get that is to promise her hand in marriage to the winner of the Solstasia Festival competition. Malik enters the competition to kill Karina, and Karina plans on killing the winner. They have their plan, they're angry, they're out for revenge, but it turns out that opposites might attract. I think that is really fun. I do want to get more into fantasy. If this book isn't fantasy, this is just all wrong. I think the best way for me to do that is to go into YA first, because I read the 5th season. I know that's adult fantasy. I was very confused, so I hope that I can enjoy this book. Next up is also a 2020 release, and this is The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones, and I got this book for the book club. The Literally Dead book club, Books and Lala's book club. How many times can I say book club? I also don't know too much about this book, but it's by an Indigenous author about Indigenous characters. It's a horror book, which I realized I'm also getting into after having read Imaginary Friend. Go watch that here. And I'm currently reading The Shining. This is following 4 American Indian men after a disturbing event from their youth puts them in a desperate struggle for their lives. Tracked by an entity bent on retribution, these childhood friends are helpless as the culture and traditions they left behind catch up to them in a violent, vengeful way. This book isn't too long compared to the first 2 books that I've picked, but I obviously want to be able to participate in the live show for this, so I hope to get to this. And also, I had picked this out for my friend book club, my book club I'm doing with my friends, and didn't know that November is also Indigenous People's History Month. I didn't know that until I saw Lala's announcement video. This should be creepy, and also I think it's interesting that there's a deer on the cover, because when I read Imaginary Friend there was also a thing about the deer, but I don't get the creepiness about deer. Let me know if you do in the comments. If that has something to do with it, that would be really cool. I really like this cover. It's texturized. The next one is very, very colorful, non-creepy, but it is something that I have been meaning to get to, and it's Felix Ever After by Kaysen Callender. This book is also Own Voices. Felix wants to fall in love, and he wants to know what it feels like, but although he's out and proud as trans and queer, he's afraid that his identity will prevent him from finding love. One day someone cyberbullies him, he wants revenge, and then he ends up, it said, in a quasi-love triangle catfish scenario, which I think is really funny. And this is YA, I believe. I'm really hoping that I enjoy this one, because I did listen to Kaysen Callender's Hurricane Child via audio a couple months ago, and that's middle grade, and I didn't like it. I know that middle grade isn't catered towards my age group, obviously, so I really have a hard time picking those up, but I'm hoping that I will really enjoy Felix Ever After. I know people have absolutely fallen in love with this. This cover is everything. I love it so much, even though I actually don't even like orange, but I love this. It's gorgeous. My last 2 books are both book of the month picks that I got this year though, so I'm still good. They're both add-ons, I think. The first one is The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. I have mentioned this on my channel before. My friend got this book recently, so I'm hoping that maybe I can pick this up with her and do a buddy read with her this month. This is following two sisters, obviously. They're actually identical twins. I believe their names are Desiree and Stella. It doesn't say in the blurb, and I kind of just flipped through the first couple of pages to check to see if I could find out their names. They both grew up in a small Black Southern community, and at age 16 they both run away. Years later, when they're adults, one of the sisters ends up back in the same community as a single mother with her Black daughter, and the other ends up across the country passing for white, and even her white husband has no idea of her past. Although they are separated, it would appear that their fates are still intertwined. What will happen when their own daughter's storylines intersect? So this is taking place over 40 years, from the 1950s to the 1990s, from the Deep South to California, which is where I believe the sister who's white passing lives. And it's a riveting, emotional family story and a brilliant exploration of race, gender, and identity, and the lasting influence of the past as it shapes a person's desires and expectations. I know my friend she's really busy, and we read at very, very different paces, so I'm hoping that I can still get to this one, or at least talk to her about it, even if we don't buddy read. The last book that I have today is kind of a hint at a video that I want to have uploaded in November. for a smash or pass video, episode 3. If you can guess who it is, comment down below. This is Long Bright River by Liz Moore. I believe this was also an add-on, but this is a 2019 book. I'm not entirely sure. This is also following sisters, which I think is really cool. Weird theme going on there. This takes place in Philly, and one sister, Casey, is a drug addict living on the streets, and the other sister, Mickey, is walking the same streets as a police officer. And one day, what's her name? Casey disappears, and it's the same time as when a string of murders are going on, so Mickey risks her job frantically looking for her sister, trying to also find the killer and hopefully find Casey alive. Apparently it's alternating between present day and the sister's childhood and adolescence, so I think this should be interesting, like how these two pairs of sisters' lives differ, and I think that would be really interesting. Oh, I'm really excited. I hope that I can get to this because I do really want to upload a new Smash or Pass video this month. She's chunky, but these are all mystery, thriller, or spooky, which is kind of on brand for me. The spooky part's new, but I'm hoping that it'll all work out. So if you are going to read any of these books this month, that would be hilarious. I'm sure many of you will be reading The Only Good Indians for the book club. Let me know what books are on your TBR for this month, what I should check out, or even your thoughts on these books, because obviously I'm interested to see. I know many of them are hyped up. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in my next video. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye!